Good morning, you badass motherfuckers. It's the All On Me, the morning drinking show. I'm your host, Greg. Getting back on this motherfucker once again. Talking all that shit, talking life, motherfuckers. We doing life every single day, man. Ain't no days off. Anybody wish they could take a day off from this game called life? Anybody wish they could just take a day or two or eternity off from having to do this game called life. Because guess what? Life's kicking your ass up and down the block, up and down the week. God, I love how beautiful that looks. All this smoke and the light, the beam of sun. I'm getting back on this motherfucker. I tried to get on this motherfucker yesterday, and it just didn't work. It didn't work. Why? Because life had other plans, other plans, and that's a beautiful thing, right? When we can live in a fluid state of being, right? When we can truly choose what we want to do, when we're gonna do it, and understand the things we got to do, right? I don't gotta get on this and talk, right? It's something I desire to do. It's something I'm passionate about doing, right? Because I know what it was to be there, and I know what it is to be here. And yet, I'm a student of life, right? And I'm trying to inspire you guys to be students of life. I was thinking about this yesterday because of the challenge, the resistance that I was facing, that I've been facing really just all this year. But I feel like every day, man, there's resistance in the day. And if you don't know what I mean by resistance, just when you're trying to get something done, it's like there's pushback, there's adversity, there's obstacles, there's just this energy of resistance where it's like resisting you, and you have to like overcome the resistance. You have to transcend the resistance that's happening. And as I just burn some more sage here, just trying to reflect on life, right? I'm a student of life. Anybody else a student of life, right? I was thinking about why so many people. Well, it was because I was having a conversation with someone yesterday. This person's a little bit older than me, and you could just tell that this person's set in their ways, right? Like, I just kept hearing, I'm so and so years old. I'm so and so years old, which is older than me. I'm 44. And they just, it's like that old saying, right? You can't teach an old dog new tricks. And that's the saddest thing, right? Because this whole experience is going to teach you lessons upon lessons upon lessons. Whether you want to learn them or not, that's up to you. That's when life gets empowering, though, is when you realize that it's a game, when you realize that this whole entire life is an experience of learning, growing, and expanding to become a greater, better version of yourself. But a lot of people, because of their trauma, because of their life experiences, right, they shut down, especially after like mandatory school years, right? And I'm someone that I taught, right? I'm someone that's got an MBA, right? Higher level education. Not that I put all my weight on that. Is like somehow if you have education, you're better, right? It's not about that, because I do think that the school of hard knocks, the school of life, teaches so much more, right? Every single day, every fucking day, man. Life is an opportunity to learn. And when I say life, it's just the experiences, the things that you're going through that, again, that trigger emotional response from you. I love it. 444, right as I say that. The things that are triggering your emotional responses, right? And when I'm talking emotions, I'm not talking about the positive, the things that excite you. I'm talking about the emotional responses that bring out what? Anger, frustration, being irritated, being upset, right? Being sad, being depressed, being anxious, just like these emotional triggers, right? in life. And the real lesson is to, one, transcend those, right? Because if you are truly controlled by your emotions, then you have no control. Did you hear that? If you are controlled by your emotions, then you don't have control of your life. And I know that because that's how I used to feel, right? I've felt for so many years in my life that my emotions were greater than me, right? That they actually dictated my state of being. And because I felt so out of control, or I lacked a sense of control when it came to regulating my emotions, the negative, right? I lost trust for myself. I didn't trust myself in a lot of situations because I didn't truly understand myself. And I do believe that whether this is a conscientious conspiracy theory or not, but I do believe that the way society is constructed, that it is designed to disconnect us from ourselves. Since Because you got to look at it from the very earliest stages of life. Everything that we are taught, everything that we are trained is to be dependent and focused on the external. And so yesterday I was having this conversation with somebody and they were very limited, right? But yet the reason why they didn't want to do X or Y or whatever, the reason why they didn't want to do more in their life was because, again, they were concerned about the external. Oh, well, if I do that and I become successful, then, people treat successful people horribly. And it's like, why the fuck would you care? Right? If you being the best version of yourself means you being successful, and thus being successful means that there's some people out there that are gonna be haters, right? So be it. Who the fuck cares? Well, obviously a lot of people care, right? A lot of you care what other people think about you. And so we find comfort in hiding, right? Hiding in the masses. Hiding amongst the majority of people that are doing the regular shit, right? Going to work, paying your taxes, going out to eat every once in a while, celebrating basic little holidays throughout the year, right? Watching all the big sports, celebrating all the big things that need to be celebrated. And it's like, as long as you're doing that, it's good enough. That's life, right? Flying commercial, right? All the basic shit, man. Like getting a vacation every once in a while, taking a day off. And we lose ourselves because we lose what I was challenging this person that I was having this conversation with is it's the same thing I've been challenging myself with, which is I think so many of us are afraid of our true desires, the true desires in your heart, the true things that you desire. And I say this a lot in terms of wealth, because wealth is a big thing that we resist, right? Becoming richer, feeling worthy of it, right? Because again, there's so much negative connotation with wealthy people. This person I was having this conversation with was saying that even their perspective of wealthy people is that they're impotent. If you're wealthy, you're impotent. And yet there was just all these negative, there's just a it exists in the conscientious mind of society, right? That somehow having wealth is a bad thing. But yet so many of us are struggling financially, right? Which is really struggling mentally and emotionally more so than just the finances. Because it's just like anything. Going on a crash diet to lose 20 pounds in 45 days, right? Where you basically starve yourself, you take some pills, right? You do this like cleanse, but then again, you don't change any habits, You don't change your mindset. Your whole goal is just to lose weight. This country, there are many people that are becoming wealthy upon wealthy because so many of us, right, are willing to just keep doing this, right? Do the crash diets whenever we want to feel better about ourselves, to look better for an event, to go when we get married, right? People get married. That's like a big motivation for them, right? Is they want to look their best, feel their best when they want to get, when it's time to get married, knowing that they're going to go right back to it. I know a guy that was like kind of like me, right? He went through a divorce, and he got inspired to like get back in shape. And he did. He got back in shape. And I remember everybody at the time in our group was like, wow, dude, you look amazing. And he did. But then guess what? This dude went and got married again. And now, guess what? He's back to where he was before, right? Which was overweight and not feeling his best. When he was, you know, he had found this little window. And it's like for me, right, I've been sustaining this healthier version of myself, which is really the best version of myself, for going on 3 years now. And it's so important to me that even if I do attract someone into my life, you know, the top two priorities for that person for me is you got to be healthy and you got to be secure, right? Mentally secure, emotionally secure, right? But you got to be a healthy person. It's not like, you know, being in like the fix it job, right? To like you come into my life and then I'm gonna inspire you to get healthy. No, usually it goes the other way. Most of us, it's easier to let it go, right, than to maintain it if we don't have someone that is also on that journey, also living that life, right? And so in life we get a lot of resistance, especially when it comes to what? Finances, health, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating because we have all these stories and we don't even realize, we don't even want to acknowledge that we have these stories. When I say stories, it's like you have beliefs. You have beliefs and programs. That's even more specific. You actually have programs, right, that are your whole entire representation of what any subject, right? Relationships, wealth, success, failure, love, education, um, spirituality. We have been programmed from 0 to 10 and then beyond as to what we believe about all these things. And more times than not, the beliefs you have are passed down to you, right? From your caregivers, from your ancestry, from your family. And the sad thing about it is that most of us, we just accept these family beliefs as our own. We adopt them. They are instilled in us, they're programmed in us. And what sucks is there's so many of you guys that are out there suffering, whether mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or physically, you're suffering because you are still holding on to these beliefs at a subconscious programmed level. And you don't even realize why you're suffering. You don't even realize why you can't get ahead. You don't even really truly understand why you're somebody that when things start to go good, you're the person that says, oh, it's only a matter of time. Something bad's going to happen. That was programmed into you. That belief was programmed into you. And you can unprogram it. That's the beautiful thing. You can actually undo that. Does it mean it's going to be a magic trick and instant? No. And I think that's where a lot of you guys get frustrated, even when you start following these religious faiths, is because what you truly know deep down inside is that there is power in that. There's power in God. There is a universal, just this God force in this world, right? But a lot of what these hope dealers, these preacher men and women, what they're teaching you and telling you, it doesn't always add up in your own personal private life, right? It's frustrating because you're like, wait, this shit isn't really relieving me of my stress. I don't really feel better when I'm by myself. I don't feel like I have been healed from some deep stuff that's rooted inside of me. And that's a very real experience for so many of us, right? Walking around on this earth, we're confused. We don't understand why we feel the way we feel. Things can be going really good in our life, but yet there's still this thing in the back of our mind that one, you're either not worthy of it. Two, something bad's going to happen, right? And those are programs. And that's really what creates this resistance, because we have to reprogram ourselves, not only on a subconscious level, but on a conscious level, as to just gratitude, being grateful, feeling worthy of shit. And I can tell you that I was so ready to get on here yesterday. And as I was ready to get on, my phone started blowing up, right? Something was going on at the motel with a guest, right? And so I had to address that. And it's sad. It's sad if you're the type of person that this person snuck in a pet, got caught, and just dug themselves into a lie deeper and deeper and deeper. We had all the evidence to prove it, but this person was just like gaslighting us. You guys are a scam. You're trying to scam me, because we have a policy that if you sneak in a pet, basic little shit, man, they just didn't want to pay the fee, the cleaning fee and the pet fee. And yet they got caught. And then they just dug themselves into this deeper and deeper and deeper lie, making it about us, that we're scamming them. And so I just had this lady going off over a $55 charge, right? $55, man. And she was treating it like it was her life savings. And she was treating it like, I'm calling the attorney general. I'm calling Better Business Bureau. This is a scam. You're scamming me. And it's like $55. God, we have evidence. Well, are you one of these people? Right? Are you one of these people that when you get caught, you turn it into something bigger than it should be, instead of just admitting, you know what, oops, you know what, yeah, you're right, I got caught. I admit I got caught. And you just own it, right? Because that's the it's all on me mindset, right? It's just total ownership. Total fucking ownership, man. Own it. I own this shit. I love this guy right here. The drunk motherfucker. I love that man. I love him, right? I wish I could go back and change shit, but I can't. So I love that man, because without his ass making some dumb, bad decisions, I just know I wouldn't be here where I'm at right now, living my best life, right? Truly now able to turn back and to inspire more and more people to hopefully look at life a little different, from an empowering perspective, to say, how can I switch up? How can I change? How can I make a difference in my own life? And it starts just with saying, you know what, you start to care about yourself. Starting to love yourself more. And it's nothing that we learn. We don't learn this. And that's why I kind of had talked about it earlier, is how I just think it's almost like by design. I think by design, this world wants to disconnect us from ourselves. Because the less and less we're connected with ourselves, that means the more and more we're dependent on the external. And the external, we have zero control over. You don't have any control over what's happening outside of you. And yet you have to spend the entire existence, your life, with no one other than yourself, right? No one's going to feel what you feel. No one's going to think what you think. Nobody else. I was married for 21 years. I keep telling you guys this. I slept next to the same person 21 years. Never did she or I wake up in the middle of the night and say, hey, I totally know how you feel about it. I know what you're feeling right now. I know what you're thinking right now. We don't have that ability. And for a lot of us, that's a big struggle, because in so many relationships, we get what's called enmeshed, which is we lose ourselves. We lose our true identity, right? The independent version of who we are. When we look in the mirror, we say, hey, I love you, and I love doing this. I love dancing. I love fishing. I love hiking. I love singing. I love riding my bike. I love going to the gym. I love going for walks. I love traveling. When we get into relationships that are not truly the best and the realest form of love, right? We throw all that shit out. You guys know this shit's real talk. We throw all that shit out. And we compromise who we are. We lose who we are. We forget who we are. And I had to wake up after 21 years. And that's really been this final phase of transformation, transcendence, has not only been, okay, getting sober first, right? Putting in the work. But this last piece has truly been me finding out who my true, authentic self is. Getting back to my truest version of myself. I always tell you guys, I'm done bullshitting myself and I'm done bullshitting others, right? It's just, it's done. I ain't gonna lie to nobody else. I'm not gonna lie to myself. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be an honest human being. And yet, it doesn't matter how far along this journey of healing, this journey of conscientious living that you go, right? You're going to continue to have resistance. You're going to continue to have adversity. You're going to continue to have challenges. And it's like so many people want life to be easier, right? You just wish life could be easy. Well, the way that you get life to become a little bit easier is by doing things that are challenging, doing things that are uncomfortable, literally immersing yourself. When I get into that cold fucking water, I don't like to get into cold water. There's nothing that's really wonderful about being in the cold water. But what I have experienced over years of doing this time and time again is every time that I go to a place where I know there's cold water and there's an opportunity for me to get in the cold water, my mind says, nah, man, we don't need to go in the cold water. It's cold. That's not comfortable. We don't want to do that. And because I have done it so many times, I'm able to check that voice, the little bitch voice, tell it to shut the fuck up. I get it. I hear you. I hear you, voice. But guess what? We're going to get in the cold water again. Because what it does is it takes you to a place that when real life shit hits the fan, right? You have something else inside of you, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, where you can take yourself to that next level. You can look at a situation that almost feels overwhelming, almost feels like it's out of control in your life. And you can say, you know what? I got this. This not going to be easy. This could be challenging, but I got this. And I could do it with joy. I could do it from a place of like abundance. I can do it with a place of gratitude. Here's a great example. I bet you, how many of you guys, right? If you don't own an Airbnb right now, how many of you that's like something you dream you wish you could have? Like, I wish I could have a fucking Airbnb, man. I see people that got Airbnbs, or I know people that got an Airbnb. And man, if I could just have an Airbnb too, like everything, my life would be great, right? And it's like, we say that because we think everything's gonna be fucking easy, right? If I just had the Airbnb, then man, my life's just better. Really? Well, what level rating would you want to have with your Airbnb? You want to be a 5-star rating, or you want to be a 1-star rating, right? Because if you do shit service, right? Guess what? People aren't going to want to rent your place. So even having Airbnb, it's going to be hard to rent it, right? But if you're someone that wants to go above and beyond and be that 5-star rating, guess what? Shit is going to happen when you are hosting guests. And this is what's happened to me right now, real time at my place. So on top of yesterday having this little whiny guest, creating this big old thing, wanting to fucking call the Supreme Court over $55, and being busted for sneaking a pet in without registering it. On top of that, I had my guest that had a need. And here I am an hour and a half away from the property. And so if you want to be, everybody wants to be an Airbnb host. Everybody wants to have that income property because you think that it's just going to be easy and you're going to be wealthy. But you got to realize that there's work. There's a lot of work involved in it. And so yesterday, this guest hit me up with a request, and it was a totally valid request that I needed to perform on. And I said, oh, shit, I'll be up there. All right. So that's why I didn't get on here yesterday, is because I had to go above and beyond, right? To be that 5-star host, to be a super host, right? Because when the guest calls and they have a need, you can't just say, oh, well, I'm on vacation, so sorry, figure it out. No, those people are going to bomb you with the fucking review. And then you ain't going to be able to live that life that you wanted to live anymore. You have to be able to have a network and a system and people in place to be able to support your vision and your dream, which means you need to be a leader, which means you need to be inspiring, right? But yet most people are going to sit there and just wish that they had things, as if somehow it doesn't come with its own level of challenges. And yet, if you don't put yourself in challenging situations, when you do even get that opportunity, you're going to fuck it because you're not able to rise to the challenges that come with it, right? Running this motel, this thing's 24/7, 365. Not only do I have to deal with everything that the guests need, and y'all some needy motherfuckers, and that's okay, right? They say that guests don't want to feel like they're at home, at their home. Like, like people say, hey, make yourself at home. Guests don't want to feel like they're at their home. There's psychological studies on this in hospitality, that when you become a guest, when you're renting at a resort, an Airbnb, whatever it is, motel, hotels, psychologically, you want to be treated like you're at your mom's house. And whether you have a good or bad relationship with your mom, that's irrelevant. You want to feel like you are taken care of, right? Like if you had an amazing mom, just picture an amazing mom that just met all your needs. If you wanted a sandwich, she made you a sandwich, right? If you weren't feeling good, she made you feel better, right? If you got an owie, she kissed your owie, made you feel good. Psychologically, people don't want to feel like they're at their home because most of our homes, it takes a lot of work to maintain. So when we go and check into these places, we want to feel like we're at mom's house, like a super mom house, right? Where she takes care of all of our stuff and we can just kick back and chill. And so I had to run up to the ranch to take care of my guests, right? On a Sunday morning. 4 hours later, I get back and I still managed to get in a hike yesterday. I was grateful for, a lot of y'all hemming and hawing about the time change. I'm grateful for it because that just means that hiking season just got that much better, right? It don't get dark till 7. I could do most of the backyard hikes, whether from 3 to 6 miles, right, in the afternoon. And that's beautiful. I don't give a fuck what the weather is. But most of y'all, look, you're hemming and hawing. There's resistance. The time change, right? Everything fucks with you. Everything mentally has to fucking destroy you, right? And it's crazy because you don't have nothing else to worry about. So guess what? It gets even better. This morning at 7:30, right when I was about to get on here, right when I was about to get on this motherfucker, my normal time, I like to get on about 7:30. My guest hits me up again. It's like, hey, man, the power's out. The power just went out, man. What do we do? I'm like, oh, shit. But right away, it's like, part of me wants to be stressed. Part of me wants to get frustrated. But the other part of me, you guys, this is the growth, is saying, man, I'm grateful that I get to be able to problem solve these problems. Do you guys understand where I'm coming with this shit? Right? Because here I am, right? Just over a year ago, wishing, man, I wish I had an Airbnb. Now I got one, and this is what it comes with. It comes with other people having problems and you having to show up and not melt the fuck down, not freak the fuck out, not freeze. And most of y'all can't even do this shit with yourself. Show up for yourself. Because that's step one. Showing up for yourself. Right? More or less showing up for other people. A lot of you will actually show up for other people more than you show up for yourself. And that's backwards. Because you are running on empty. Right? And so all that stuff that you're doing for other people, it's not building yourself up. You feel like shit at the end of the day, and you know you're exhausted, you know you're overwhelmed, you know you're depleted, and you're not going to fucking tell me otherwise. All right? And so the power's out. So I'm like, ah, shit. So I checked for outages, didn't see no outages. The guy is being very, very patient. Turns out there was an outage, right? But yet, I'm sitting there and I'm like trying to get a hold of the co-op, the property's on solar, but yet it's still tied in that if there's an outage, which I don't like, I'm gonna fix that, that it affects my property. So here's the deal, right? The old me would have been just getting really flustered and frustrated and stuff, talking to the customer service and being rude or being an ass. Because something's wrong and I don't like it and my guest isn't, is inconvenienced. But instead, I had these moments with myself this morning saying, man, I'm really grateful, right? This is unfortunate. This is not the ideal situation, but I'm grateful that I get to even have this opportunity. Because I wish this was the opportunity I was wishing for years. Right? This is the opportunity that I was hoping for. And for some reason, we get it twisted that if we can just fill in the blank, that somehow everything else is now fucking going to be good. And it doesn't necessarily mean that. Because here it is, I'm living the dream, and yet I'm having all these issues, senses of resistance, and I really just believe it doesn't happen to me, it's happening for me. It's happening for me because in that moment, I can choose how I'm going to react, how I'm going to respond emotionally, you guys. This is an emotional journey. That's energy. And if you are constantly controlled by your emotions, I talked about it earlier, I talk about it now, I'm going to talk about it till the end of my fucking days. Until you guys learn how to transcend your emotions from a negative perspective. That even when on the darkest day, when the worst shit's happening, you can still stay centered and grounded and have thanksgiving and gratitude for everything that's still happening. Because here I am living my dream and things aren't going perfect. But guess what? I'm working the problem, right? I made a call to say, hey, can I get a generator? Right? I did talk to the co-op. They're going to fix it. I don't know how soon, but if they don't get it up before I get a generator, I'm going to run back up there an hour and a half, 4 hours later, right? Drop off a generator. And the guest is really grateful because they feel like they're getting taken care of, even in the less than ideal situation, right? In this hospitality game, if any of you ever have a desire to be short-term rental, Airbnb, even a 24 unit boutique motel, you're going to have people, and you're going to have a lot of people that have a lot of problems, and things aren't always going to go right. And all that truly matters is that you are responsive and that you're truly willing to work their problems from a genuine place of like care. And so this person feels that. I even told him, look, man, why don't you guys go get breakfast at this local cafe? It's on me. Leave a nice tip, right? Send me the receipt. He's like, no, man, we don't need to do that. I was like, no, I'd be more than happy to treat you guys to breakfast, right? This is the shit you do, man. This is the 5 stars. But y'all just think, oh, if I have an Airbnb, I have more money, right? And you haven't experienced it, right? But yet you see other people that are doing this and you're like, oh, well, I just want that. But you don't even know what the fuck it entails. You don't understand what it takes to even get a cleaner, because most of y'all motherfuckers, if you do rent Airbnbs, you're crying about the fucking cleaning fees, right? I'm clapping you motherfuckers today, right? You're complaining about the cleaning fees. I see it all the time. Where? Right? Why the cleaning fees? Because people don't clean fucking units for free. This shit costs money, right? And yet there's still value in it, because I can tell you my place versus other places in the area, it doesn't even compare, right? I got 2 things that does not compare. I got privacy and I got views for fucking days, man. The most incredible views in northern New Mexico, right? And there's just this peace and tranquility there, right? That supersedes any kind of resort, right? It has the conveniences of a kitchen and the privacy of just the whole unit, right? That just, it's, you know, some people that do the Airbnbs, you understand why. It's superior to like a resort. And, but that means that it comes with a lot of challenges, right? So the power went out. And again, part of me wanted to be frustrated at the co-op, frustrated at this, frustrated at everything. And then it was just like, no, the light clicked and it just said, you know what, dude, are you not grateful, man? Are you not grateful that you even get to have these types of problems right now? These are great problems to have. But most of y'all won't even think about that. The problems you have right now are pretty fucking great problems to have, right? That doesn't mean that they feel good, but that means that, look, you get to work the problems. And the more that you embrace whatever the challenges are in your life, that you're going to learn and grow and expand into a better version of yourself, because going through those problems is going to teach you some lessons that's going to carry you to the next level, right? Because if you don't got a vision for the next level, for the next version of yourself, then what are you living for, right? Are you really that content with your life? Or are you just really wishing and wanting things to get better, but you're not willing to do and put in the work, right? Because resistance is going to be there no matter what, right? If you want to get, I started saying this from last year, day 1. The minute you decide to finish the starting line of anything new, the universe is going to punch you right in the fucking face to make sure this is really what you want. And that's what's happening to me right now. As I'm getting started on this journey, right? I'm getting these challenges. You know what's helping me get through these challenges is the shit I'm dealing with at my ranch ain't nothing compared to what I've been dealing with at this motel for the past year. Holy shit. And we've gotten through all of those problems. And even as there's more problems at the motel, guess what? We have some stamina. We have some grit. We have experience that has shown that, look, we keep going through and processing through the challenges, coming up with solutions, dealing with it, taking care of the guests as best as we can from a genuine place of care. And it continues to work out, even if it feels like shit, even if it gets really stressful and people get very emotional and people get very upset, right? But I know that our intentions are pure. Our intentions are to provide the best experience for our guests, right? We're not trying to scam anybody or do any weird shit. Like, we truly do value guests, right? But we also know motherfuckers want to take advantage. Thus, the one that tried to sneak in the pet and didn't want to register it and then just dug themselves as an adult into like all these lies and gaslighting and getting nasty on us. It's terrible what some people will do. And that just means that this person needs to like deal with themselves. She stopped to listen to me for about a half second because I said, ma'am, I'm not gonna debate this with you. We're talking $55. Like in the back of my mind, I'm like, this, even holding this energy is not worth it. I'd rather just say, take your money back. Karma will deal with you, right? Karma will deal with you, right? It's evident that you snuck an animal in here, and it's obvious that you're lying to us about it. And yet I don't want that negative energy. So I'd rather just give back the $55. $55 don't mean shit to me. It's nothing. $55, it ain't shit. In terms of dealing with someone's negative, toxic energy. And yet, how many of you, how many people, right, out there continue to make shit up about their lives? Continue to play, it's playing the victim. That's what it is. And I told this lady, I was like, really? I'm not going to debate this with you. $55. I'm not. Right? Let me look into it some more. I'm pretty sure we have picture evidence. We have video evidence that there's dog hair all over this. And there's no fucking way that you checked in. I have the best cleaning crew in the business. There's no way you would not have checked into that room with as much dog hairs all over the place. And you would have not been okay with that if it wasn't from you. People are full of shit, man. It's crazy. And yet I said, look, do you not, like, it's Sunday. It's a beautiful day. You're making it sound like I've stolen your fucking life savings. $55. Like, and I even told her about the greatest gift. She got upset because I was like, man, don't you realize we have life today? It's a beautiful day. What are you doing today? Why are you wanting to sit here and debate with me whether or not you snuck an animal in and why you're getting charged a fee for it? And yet that's how people are. That's how we want to play this stuff. We're the victim. You're the victim, right? You get caught, you're the victim. Blame someone else. It's not your fault. Instead of just being grateful, man, and taking ownership. Because the more you take ownership of the circumstances that's going on in your life, right? Regardless if you have even been victimized, like if there's literally been a crime, a punishable crime committed against you, hopefully justice, hopefully the system that's broken will hopefully give you justice. But what are you going to do for the rest of your life? Sit there and be a victim saying that happened to me, I can't move forward with my life, right? I can't forgive this person. I need to just stay stuck in the emotional pain and suffering and agony that was caused to me at this point of my life, which is now come and gone. It's in the past, which means it's not even real anymore because all we have is the now. And yes, this shit affects us. Traumatic events impact us on an emotional, subconscious level. And the greatest ones are the ones from 0 to 10 years old. I talk about this all the time. But you're not going to ever start to move forward in your life until you realize that these things didn't happen to you, they're happening for you. And that is something I cannot explain. I can't explain why this stuff happens for us. Why the things that happen even happen in the first place, right? Why the challenges have to be so fucking challenging. I can't explain that. I just know that it is. And I just know that every time that you show up and you raise your limits, what you think is possible, right? Every time I get in that cold water and just stay just a little bit longer, right? I take something with me so that when a day like yesterday and this morning happen, I can sit there and not lose myself in an emotional state of being that isn't anything less than, you know what? I am so grateful that I get the opportunity to deal with these types of problems because these ain't real problems. Some of y'all may have some real fucking problems, some real health problems, right? Some real circumstances, right? And I've been there too. That's a real fucking problem when you're dealing with mugshots, when you're dealing with being arrested, right? That's a real fucking problem. But a lot of you are just dealing with psychological bullshit in your head. Things you're making up, things you're afraid of. You're creating fear based on what? False assumptions, a false narrative, a false reality, illusion. You're delusional about shit. You don't even want to see what really happens. You're just afraid of something to be afraid of it, right? Instead of saying, I don't know. What would happen? What is the worst that could happen if I actually try this thing new? It's crazy. It's crazy how limiting we allow ourselves, how limited we allow ourselves to be just literally by our own thoughts, right? Think about it. All the news, all the bullshit you're watching, it's all about fear, right? It's all based on fear, man. You got to be afraid of somebody. Someone's got to be the boogeyman, or two or three, or a whole fucking nation of boogeymen there to just scare you and keep you where you're at. And I'm over here trying to light a fire in your ass, trying to inspire you, right? To rethink some things, to relook at some things from a fresh perspective, a different perspective. That's why I keep getting on this, right? It's because I'm passionate about life. I'm a student of life. I am learning more right now at 44 years old than I ever learned from fucking kindergarten through 12th grade. But how many of you guys struggled through school, hated school, and told yourself, if I don't have to go to school, I ain't never going to school. So you've just checked the fuck out. And you're like done learning. When this whole life is about learning about yourself. What are your limits? What are your dreams? What are the things you truly love? And the things that you don't have right now, what are you willing to do to realize these things? Whether it's just an experience, whether it's something new, right? New wealth, new resources, new opportunities. Like, instead of just settling for shit. I posted yesterday, how many motherfuckers, you're just waiting for what? The ideal fucking conditions. Ideal conditions, man, to make a move. I know too many people. As a health coach, I've literally sat there with people, right? And this some of y'all probably gonna listen to this. I've literally sat there with people doing a health assessment, right? Getting to someone's why, getting to someone's goals, understanding what's going on in the psychology of someone's mind, where they're literally saying if they don't make a change, if they don't truly get on a better, more stable fucking path from a health, nutrition standpoint, right? That it's life or death. It's life or death if they don't literally make a change. And then we get to the end of the conversation and say, okay, right? We understand the severity of your situation. We can help, but it has a cost. And then we reveal the cost, which is not a lot. And it's too much. And yet time has gone by and nothing's changed. And nothing will change. Because it needs to be quicker, it needs to be cheaper, it needs to be free, it needs to be easy, right? That's what everybody's waiting for. Ideal conditions. Well, let me wait for this to happen. Let me wait for that to happen. Well, I got this coming up. Well, I got that coming up. And it's just like, you know what? You don't value that. Right? That was going to be the topic of today, was going to be, what do you value? How many of y'all motherfuckers even know what the hell you value? How many of you all would raise your hand if I say, do you value your health? Right? You raise your hand. Yeah, I value my health. Right? But yet you're overweight. When you know that heart disease, right, is the number one killer. But you say you value your health. Right? You say you value your health, and you followed all the COVID protocols, you're still wearing a mask, you got all the shots, right? But you're overweight. But you say you value health, right? You think them shots is going to save you more than you changing up your habits for health, improving your nutrition, finding ways to become more active and to be inspired by becoming more active, feeling better about yourself naturally, right? By putting in healthier nutrition into your body, right? Generating natural energy, right? Natural stamina, natural performance, right? Waking up, feeling more focused, feeling more alive, feeling better about yourself, more confident. But you say you value health, but you're posting all this bullshit, this food porn, right? Covered in butter, covered in fucking oil. Oil and butter, man. God, there's nothing good about either of those ingredients. In terms of your cardiovascular health, right? All this bullshit, coconut oil, avocado oil, all this other bullshit oil, man, it's not good for you. Do the research. That's real learning, right? Or wait, you don't have to go to school no more because you're an adult, so you don't need to learn. You just trust whatever the fuck you want to trust. You're not willing to do no research. You want to do research? Research if oil is truly beneficial for your health. It's not. Your body doesn't know how to break down oil, whether it's fucking castor oil or fucking vegetable oil or avocado oil or coconut oil or whatever fucking oil is the new oil that's supposed to be healthy for you. It's not. It clogs your arteries, period. Your body does not have a way of breaking down oil in your system. Zero. It doesn't know what to do with it. And yet you're going to continue living this unhealthy lifestyle. You're going to continue feeling like shit because you're waiting for what? Ideal circumstances, ideal conditions. When all you got is now. And yet you don't even know what you value. You say you value health, but you don't exercise on a regular basis. You say you value health, but you overindulge, right? You got eating disorders based on your fucking emotional stress. And you can't even break the habits of your bad health, your bad nutrition. Nutrition is so much more important than even being active. I'm ready to celebrate. I am celebrating. One of my best friends, right? I've been coaching him now going on 3 weeks. And this dude's just crushing it. He's crushing it. He's almost down 25 pounds. Right? In 3 weeks, zero exercise, zero meal prep, man. Just sticking to the script. But he knew he was ready to start changing some shit up. And whether you want to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, or 200 fucking pounds, I'm here and I'm ready. But you got to want it. Because ain't nobody else going to do this for you. Right? Even me. The best that I can do for my friend that I'm coaching right now is I can just be accountability for him. I can encourage him. I can try and inspire him. I can cheer him on with these victories he's doing. But he's going to still, I'm not going to be there 24/7 to make sure that he is putting the right food in his body and not cheating. Only he knows this. And yet, the results are there. This weight is literally just melting off of his body. And his confidence is already going up. We still have a long journey together. But we're stacking the results. Right? And you're still waiting for perfect fucking conditions. You can't afford it. It costs too much. I'm not ready. I don't think I could do this. I don't know this. I'm waiting for that. If I got to wait for my mom to get healthy. I got to wait for this person to come through. I got to wait for this to happen and that to happen. And it's like, none of that shit's ever going to happen. You got to realize that's that bullshit excuses. That's the mantra here, right? You make the excuses, you got no results. You listen to the excuses, you got no results. You allow for the excuses to keep you waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for a better day. You got no results. But if you're ready to tell them excuses to shut the fuck up, right? I'm going to take my life back. I'm going to try this for me because I am what matters in this world. And my health is my wealth, right? Because with your health is attached everything, man. Your self-confidence, right? Your focus, your energy, your ambition, everything is attached to how you feel inside. And what you feel on the inside is what comes out on the outside. And most of y'all, you can have perfect attendance at all your little groups, right? But you're walking around and you know you're not feeling your best. You know there's more that you can do, right? And some of y'all have hit me up. And some of y'all have hit me up and then not followed up. And guess what? I'm not trying to sell you nothing, right? Because I don't need to help you. I want to help you. I'm here to help you, but I don't need to. Helping you does not change me. I know what I'm doing, right? My game is tight. My life is on the right path. I'm grateful for all that I have created, right? But I don't need to help you. I want to help you. I'm here to help you. I'm enthusiastic about helping you. I'm inspired to help you. But if you're not ready to help yourself, I'm not going to carry you. That's not how this works. You have to put in the work. This has to be your time because this is all you got. Ideal is now, right? I'm going to keep getting back on this motherfucker because I'm inspired. I got resistance coming my way because guess what? I got some big fucking goals. I got some big dreams. I'm going to transform some things that you guys just stand the fuck by, man. Just stand by. The things that are happening in my life are going to continue to happen. And I don't really give a fuck how you feel about it, what you think about it, right? Because you know the drill. Results kill excuses. It's all on me.